My name is Miguel Camarena.
And my name is Leah Camarena.
We're excited to share with you our journey in Western Fertility. We have two beautiful daughters, Mila, 2 years old, and Amelia, 3.5 months old.
We're really happy to be here today. This place feels like home to us. Western Fertility has really helped us be the parents we are today. So we got married in 2017 and we really wanted to just spend some time just, as husband and wife, not really thinking or putting pressure on children. We knew that we wanted at least 1 or 2 if we were blessed. My cycles were always irregular, and so I kind of had a feeling that pregnancy would come a little bit difficult for us. So within about 1.5 years of being married, the conversation started coming up that we wanted to start trying to have a baby. After no success for 6 months, I had just this feeling, this intuition that maybe I need to explore different options. And so that's when I met with just my regular OB. I left that appointment devastated because he told me that based on blood work and ultrasound, pap smear, really nothing too extensive, that I had PCOS and that it was going to be almost near impossible for us to conceive. And so I was just super defeated. This was me in 2018. I just didn't want to accept no as the answer. So we then explored a different OB who had some fertility treatment available. And so we met with him. He was experienced. He's been around Bakersfield for about 40 years. Yeah. And we did different rounds of Clomid. I did that for probably about 3 cycles of Clomid, and we were still not getting pregnant, so I started to almost give in and believe that it just wasn't gonna happen for us. So I was Googling every night, looking at different doctors, trying every herb, every vitamin, having him try different vitamins, tracking our cycles, and it still wasn't happening. So the OB that has been around for some time, he suggested that we do a laparoscopy to check for endometriosis because he was thinking that this was a factor as to why I was not getting pregnant. And so I went through that procedure. He did find some endometriosis and PCOS.
I think it was a month after that
we got pregnant without being on Clomid or anything. But we miscarried, I want to say within 7 weeks or 8 weeks. So it was really early, but it was a huge loss for us.
So happy it happened. We least expected at that, and then we miscarried.
Yes. Our doctor actually, he just said, I think you'd be in better hands of a fertility doctor, because we've done pretty much everything in my realm to help you. So that's when we explored a fertility doctor in Bakersfield. We started 2 rounds of IUIs, immediately. And now going back and looking back at those experiences, they're just way different than what we received here. So we went through the IUIs, really not under his guidance. It was more with a nurse and not really being monitored as well, especially when it's
not monitored at all. Basically, it was a false dream that they were selling. At that time it was just devastation that we miscarried, and we were just looking for another hope, looking for another prayer, and they were just false dreams that were being sold to us. So we were never under the care of the doctor, even though that's the presumption we had. We were going to be taken care of very well by him. It was just basically wasn't a nurse, it was a CNA or an LVN. But that's all we did the IUIs with, to no success at that.
And he wanted to keep doing more. He said, let's just try at least 6. But after 2, I was defeated, and I just felt like I was a cash grab.
Yes.
We just felt like we were handing over money because we were so desperate, vulnerable, and just trusting that it would work. I was just really, really sad that it wasn't going to happen for us. And I was Googling, and I was just you know what? This is when the pandemic kind of broke out, and there was a lot of talk of the CDC. And I put, let me go in my Google and search best reproductive doctor.
Success rate of CDC.
The highest success rate of CDC, and Dr. Kumar's name came up.
You made an appointment literally that next week, and it was during the pandemic, and it was hard to get in just for the fact that you couldn't have been tested positive for COVID. You obviously couldn't be sick. had to wear a mask, everything, the whole nine. And we made an appointment, did a consultation with Dr. Kumar, and that's all she wrote. We got 2 kids down.
Yeah.
But it was just the care that Western Fertility provided, along with the nurturing and the caring, right? That's a huge part about it. It's just caring, because it was tough to talk about. It was tough to explain your whole situation. And basically, Dr. Kumar said, we got you. Mm-hmm. You're going to be parents. You're going to be a mom.
We trusted him, not only because of the support and the care, but he's world renowned. And I would go and stalk videos of him. He was just super admirable, and I just thought I was in the hands of not only God, but I was in the hands of the best of the best. Starting the process here at Western Fertility, we met with Dr. Kumar, and we both felt super, super comfortable with him. He is not only brilliant, but he's very caring. And I just remember the first thing he told me in the consultation, IVF is similar to someone going through chemo with the emotions that come with it. And to me, it was the first time hearing that from not only a doctor, but just another person
that understands the up and downs of a struggle with fertility.
So when we met with Dr. Kumar for the first time, we were already really defeated. This is a 5 years in the works of getting heartbroken. And when we met with him, there was no pressure. He really just listened to our story. And it was the same day he said, if you want, let's go do an ultrasound. And that took me by surprise because in Bakersfield, doctors weren't doing ultrasound. So that was already just a huge plus. Him alone doing an ultrasound, I just remember that was the greatest thing of all. We did our first baseline ultrasound, and we ended up doing some blood work as well. And I just thought this was the best because I remember doing blood work in Hawaii, different places in the world for other doctors. When we'd be on vacation, we would have to
find a lab,
find facilities.
Take blood and have it sent in time.
Everything was here. And so we got our results back, and then from there, we received a personalized treatment plan. We met with our nurse, Kiana, who has now become one of our friends. And from there, they basically held my hand throughout the whole process. So we would come just depending on the days of my cycle. We had no idea how we were going to do it. We had no idea how we were even going to pay for everything. But once we came here, it's just everything just came into place. We would come here only because we felt more comfortable coming here to pick up medications. Our nurses would mix them for us, so they were already ready to go. I see a lot of people going through the same type of process, especially with IVF, having to mix their own. And luckily, everything was just as easy as possible for someone going through this. I remember just never wanting to do IVF because in my mind, that was the absolute last step to me being able to carry my children. I'm just so blessed that when we decided to do IVF, that we didn't try with someone that made it more convenient just because they lived in Bakersfield with us. We wanted to come to the best of the best. And I got geared up for the egg retrieval. It's in-house again. Dr. Kumar, through every single procedure, was there every step of the way. So he did every single ultrasound. He followed up with all the blood results. He was in there doing my egg retrieval.
It's constant communication
yes.
with Dr. Kumar and the team here at Western.
So it's never just here's what worked with someone, go take it. It was well, no, she needs a little bit more progesterone because of where her blood levels are today. Once our embryos were tested by the embryologists that were here in-house as well, it's honestly state-of-the-art here. Then we were able to kind of come up with a date. And from there, it was just a lot of prayer, but a lot of faith.
I mean, it was amazing for the amount of eggs we retrieved too.
Yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. Because he told us when the egg retrieval happens, it's an average of half won't make it to the blastocyst period. So you have to have a good amount of eggs to start with, and we were worried, we didn't know how many we were gonna have. We read stories online where people only retrieved 4 eggs. So now maybe 2 make it, or maybe 1 makes it, or maybe none. But we had a great retrieval, 41 eggs. So that was awesome.
We received directions of, how to prep the night before, and our anxiety levels were up there. I know I was really nervous.
Very nervous.
You kept it in a lot more than I did, for sure. But I knew I was in great hands. We literally showed up. It was probably like a 5 a.m. procedure. We see Leslie.
Who's always positive, always there to cheer you on.
Yeah, she was our cheerleader.
Always that smile.
The transfer itself, I want to say, is like 10 minutes.
The actual procedure is maybe 10. Getting recovered and getting dressed to take longer.
Yeah.
But it's maybe 10-minute procedure.
I got ready for the procedure, and I just remember having like my rainbow socks on, like really excited, that I bought specifically to be like some type of good luck. And then also Western Fertility socks that I still wear. They're like these fuzzy ones. We did our transfer. I went home and I literally did not move. I stayed on the couch and was like posted there for a good 3 days because I was afraid to do anything. But as far as like pain-wise or anything like that goes, no pain, just a lot of feelings for sure. And then we came back to test, and it was like 10 days after you do your transfer. Typically you'll do a blood test that will let you know your HCG, and hopefully it's rising if it's a confirmed pregnancy. And with our first transfer, we did not have success. I think the transfer itself may have worked, but it wasn't sustained because the numbers were dropping. So that resulted in a loss for us. And something about this place told me like not to give up. So literally we were like, how soon can we try again?
So after meeting with Dr. Kumar, we went ahead and scheduled another transfer, but I want to say we waited 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
I think we did a 2-month wait in between, just to recover, let Leah's body reset, and then we went ahead and started the whole injection, started the whole process. 2 months later, and we did another transfer. And as nervous as we were, they tell you do not test prior to the 10 days because you can't get false positives or you can't get false negatives. But those 10 days are hard to wait for. That's the longest 10 days of your life is what it seems like in that moment of your life. But they were worth it because now we have Mila at home. Now we're parents.
After all of the testings, it was confirmed that we were pregnant, and it was honestly like bliss. I didn't believe it. Yeah, very, very surreal. We didn't know this. Once you reach 12 weeks, then you graduate Western Fertility and you go on to your chosen OB, which was like heartbreaking for us because we just thought we could just stay here and I was like, okay, Dr. Kumar helped get me pregnant, but he needs to deliver this baby too. Like, I just wanted to be, I wanted him to go back to OB and just deliver our baby too. But after we left Western Fertility, we met with, our OBs in Bakersfield. My pregnancy was literally just a dream. Like the whole time I did not feel like it was real. I felt like I was just like living this like fake life because it's something that we wanted so badly and something that we worked so hard for. It wasn't anything that came easy for us. And so I was like on edge a lot. I was afraid to drink coffee. I felt like I could ruin it. So I wanted just to make sure that we were as safe as possible. We also got pregnant during a pandemic. And so I had a lot of time at home, which was really, really nice. I got to work from home and kind of just be in the present.
Enjoy each day, really being pregnant, just living the dream that we were praying for.
Now looking back, it was a really great pregnancy. I didn't get too much like morning sickness. I didn't really have any of the myths that most women get told about like heartburn. Oh, yeah. Like our daughters have so much hair. They get it from their dad. And I didn't have any heartburn whatsoever, but I remember I was just watching a lot of like YouTube and influencers that were going through IVF as well. I felt like that's where I connected to because the IVF pregnancy is so personal, but also so exciting. I think anybody that I talked to, I would tell them like, it's IVF pregnancy because it's that badge of honor. I went through it, we're going through it, it's a miracle. Like science, Definitely a surreal time in our lives. and a really happy time, but also like really, really scary as well.
So the day Mila was born, the actual day she was born, I was at work, and Leah, she calls me and says, hey, we have to go to the doctor. But before that, I think we went to the doctor 5 different times, false alarms. It always seemed to be around midnight or 1 in the morning when she would be false alarms. And I said, wake and go to work the next day. So we had already had our bags packed. That's the best thing to do is pre-pack your bag. Everything you can imagine you're gonna need to take it, because you're still gonna need something else when you get there. But we picked her up at home, we took her to the hospital. It took maybe an hour, and we saw the hospitalist, the OB from the hospital, and said, your baby's coming today?
Yeah, and the day was July 1st, 2021. This day is important because it's Princess Diana's birthday too. So I was so excited that I was gonna have our first little baby girl born on Princess Diana's birthday. And just hearing those words, like, your baby's coming today, it is like, not only like music to your ears, it's just like, wow, we did it. Like, wow, we're having a baby. Once I heard her scream, it was just like...
It was amazing.
There's like nothing to really describe the feeling that you get as a mom.
As a dad, there's never gonna be anything that can replicate or overdo that first cry and scream the first time you see them.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
Yeah. Not only did we pick her, but she chose us because she stuck around. And when we finally met her little face, it was just like such a blessing that we've gone through everything and we persevered and we got to have like our dream come true.
We got to have our little Mila. We got to hold her in our arms. So for Amelia, our second baby, we decided almost right away, but it was really after Mila turned 1 when we're like, okay, we need to go back there and see Dr. Kilmore, Western Fertility.
We knew though that once we made that call that we were good. It was gonna happen.
Yeah, the mindset you had of the first time around of maybe, coulda, woulda, or maybe not, we didn't even have that the second time.
We knew how many embryos we had left and we knew the genders, and naturally we wanted another girl because I always would pray for a sister. I have a brother who I love dearly, but I would have loved a sister as well. And so not knowing if we were gonna have 3 or if we were gonna be blessed with like 3 pregnancies, we had our heart set on a girl. That's like your treat through IVF, is like you have to go through all these hurdles, but if you go through testing, you're able to choose or select genders if you want. With us though, we wanted to keep it a little bit more organic in our minds or natural. So we just went down the list of the healthiest embryo. And the next one in line was a girl, gonna be Mila's little sister. That's like our mindset. And
best friend is how we're seeing it in our mind, at least, you know?
The process was really quick. It was probably about a month process. And again, we waited those 10 days. I had no symptoms this time with the second baby. I did not think that the transfer worked. Even though we were really confident that it was gonna happen, we just didn't know if it was gonna happen this cycle or maybe a next cycle. Luckily, we produced really healthy embryos.
But no, you for sure thought you weren't pregnant.
There's the McDonald's that we would stop in Santa Clarita on the way home, and we'd get the French fries because we did that with Mila too. And I want to say that helped her stick. All of the chemicals, grease, and sodium helped her stick. Kiana messaged me. She actually called me. We were on the way to lunch, and she's like, Leah, you're super pregnant. Your numbers are
double.
Like almost triple too.
Almost triple.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, I'm actually, now that I think about it, I am kind of dizzy. So then we just we followed up, and 9 months later, Amelia came.
So the aspect of parenthood I love the most is probably teaching Amelia things, like showing them the world, because right now Mila's at the age that everything is, what's that? What's this? What is that? And that's awesome, being able to teach your child, teach Mila what things are and how things work, and she's just so interested in everything that it's amazing.
think the best part about being a parent is just seeing the world through like your child's eyes. Mila's really innocent. Just seeing that and watching her talk and love and have like nothing in her heart but love, like is the most rewarding and special thing to see. Mila grounds us, like she grounds me. She makes me realize like what's important, and being their mom is like the most rewarding and special experience I've ever had in my life. Being loved by her and the love that she has in her heart that she just has naturally with her sister as well, like it just sparks like something in me that makes me want to like live forever because just watching them both and just like having the family that we dreamt of is beautiful to watch. So Mila was super ecstatic knowing that she was going to have a baby sister. She loves playing with dolls and watching like little different cartoons with like baby sisters or baby brothers. And so while I was pregnant, she was always like holding my stomach. She still sleeps in the bed with us, so she was really like attentive towards that and really loving. I was afraid that that was going to be lost when the baby actually came home. I didn't know how she was going to take that, even though we like would let her know, you know, you're going to have a baby sister, and like really preparing, trying to prepare her for it. And then when we brought her home, that was like the first and longest time we've been away from Mila, because obviously when you give birth, you have to stay for a while. When we introduced her, she was so excited.
She was so happy. She literally sat on the couch, put her arms out, said she wanted to hold her sister.
Yeah, she's all, that's my baby sister.
My baby, yeah, my baby sister.
Yeah, and since she's been born, she's so loving on her. She kisses her.
As soon as I bring her home from school, she runs to her sister, kisses her head, or kiss her, touch her, wants to hug her.
Yeah.
You know, gives her toys. Of course, Mila can't grab them and play with them yet, but at least Mila shares, and she tells everybody that's her sister. You know.
They just have a special bond already, and so it's going to be special just to watch them continue to grow that.
I can't wait to watch Mila walk and run after Mila. That's going to be awesome, seeing them chase each other in the yard and play.
Our relationship has evolved tremendously, especially beginning IVF. Again, it's like that big mountain that we had no idea how we were going to get over, get past, get through it. And so with IVF, you have to have like complete trust in your partner. Miguel did all of my injections, which was like the most loving part now that we look at it, back at it. Like we never had any type of like animosity towards each other for not getting pregnant. And that alone was just like a new love, because if we were going to get through something, we were going to get through it together. He was really patient. He went to all of my appointments for fertility, you know, and especially through IVF, you're going to have a lot of, you know, preparation and appointments, and you're going to have a lot of mood swings. You're going to have a lot of emotions, because this is something that you both want. I thought that I loved Miguel when we first got engaged, when everything was really easy, but IVF and fertility has definitely brought us closer together. He has been my positive rock. Like he has seen me hit rock bottom, and he's always like the first one, even if like he's unsure, uncertain, he always lifts me up and keeps us going and keeps pushing us through. It's one thing for him to love me, but to love the girls the way he loves our girls and like value them as much as I value them, it's just beautiful to watch, because it's not only something that I really wanted, it's something that he wanted too. We've become like partners in life, like not only just husband and wife, but anything that has came our way, I just look to him and he's always there. IVF will test you, fertility will test you.
Yeah, fertility will test any fertility challenges or struggles you may have going to test you as a couple for sure. But I don't know, the best way I could probably put this is when you're going through that, you're going through these challenges, these obstacles, you have to overcome all this together. And then when you become parents, it was still together, but you have your individual individual obstacles that you got to divide and conquer, because as parents, you can't always both be there, or you have multiple children, they require different things at different times. So Leah has to take care of this, Miguel has to take care of this, but we're doing it together for them to raise our family. We depend on each other more in separate ways than when we were just me and Leah. You know, when me and Leah were just me and Leah, you do things whenever you kind of want.
I feel like IVF helped prepare us of like our togetherness and our partnership. So kids are a lot. Anybody who has them knows. And it was never just like all on me, ever. We have this like understanding that we put them first. They come first. We will have our time. Our time will come again. And it's going to be beautiful because we've gone through such a crazy path together.
And we still sit down and have dinner every night still.
Yeah.
And that helps a lot.
As an IVF mom, I remember just like hearing a lot of advice about like what we could have done to get pregnant. You could have drank cough syrup, you know, have sex during random times, different positions, drinking different concoctions or whatnot. But I came to accept that my body, along with others who are on this fertility journey or thinking about IVF or whatnot, requires a little bit more help. Once I was able to accept that I'm not one of those people that get pregnant naturally easily or sustain pregnancy at that. There's no concoction, there was no position, there was no timing that would have helped us. And so if you ever feel like that intuition, like how I felt, like maybe something's off a little bit, I urge you just to not only just come to Western Fertility, but you know, get checked out, because sometimes when you're listening to like these holistic approaches, they may be helpful for other things, but IVF mamas, we're warriors and we just need that extra help. And then when you hear like those comments like, oh, well, like, don't you have enough sex? Or, you know, it's not always just that's the factor. Nobody knows what happens close doors and how hard you're really trying for something. So IVF sometimes to some people that don't understand the process may seem like the easy way. Oh, well, you can just, you know, spend money and buy a baby. It's still up to God to let it work. Science can only take it so far. That's what we really loved about Dr. Kumar is I would always tell him like, you're a miracle worker. Oh my gosh, how are you this like human being that just does like remarkable things like every single day? Like, wow. But he would never take credit for that. He would always say, it's not him. The consultation that we had with Dr. Kumar was really like all that my mind needed. I spent so much time on Google trying to find a solution, trying to find an answer, trying to find a doctor. I would just like strongly encourage you to come and meet him. It's really, really hard in general to feel like, where do I even start? Where do I begin? Do I go see an OB? What do I do? Because I'm already doing everything that should be working. It can be really overwhelming. The great thing about Western Fertility for me was everything was here. A, you talk to the doctor.
The actual doctor.
You know, which is important. B, like, he does the ultrasounds for you, which is huge. When you are in such desperation, you struck out so many different times and it's not working for you, you want that reassurance by a doctor that this is what's going on. This is what we're going to do. You need that plan. And you want that because with fertility, it's so time sensitive. So you want the doctor involved. You want that doctor looking at the images, knowing, you know, the results that you did on your blood work, how much medication you're going to need. You want that individualized plan. And that's what Western Fertility offers for us, and that's been our experiences both times. To have that all in one place takes away like
the stress of having to schedule different and multiple doctors in multiple places and multiple things at once to get one outcome.
Yeah, and checking to see if like doctors even received your medical records.
Exactly.
And I remember when I first met with Dr. Kumar, I asked him, I said, do you need me to send my medical records to you? Because if you've been through it, you know, like you've gone through multiple doctors, you've gone through multiple procedures and whatnot. And he literally just said like, no.
No matter how busy it was here, no matter how busy Dr. Kumar may have been, he never made us feel rushed, never made us feel the sense of he was busy and needed to be somewhere else. It was literally like he was our own doctor each and every time he saw us. Any questions, any time it took to answer, as long as it took, he was happy. And that helped a ton.
And then also, if you haven't had any fertility challenges, but you're getting to like mid-30s and you want children in the future, I think just to like be on top of it and be real with yourself, be realistic. My body is not the same as it was 4 or 5 years ago, even 2 years ago. And so knowing that I have this like insurance here, we have our embryos here, the healthy embryos. IVF can be really scary and you can feel really alone. But once you get over that hurdle and once you bring your baby home and once you meet with someone, especially a doctor telling you that you're gonna be a grandma one day, it'll all be worth it. You'll be so proud of like all of the work that you all had to go through. Honestly, I don't think that we would have the girls that we have now if it wasn't for Western Fertility, us finding Dr. Kumar. I'm just so thankful that we took the plunge. As like low as I was when I first met Dr. Kumar and desperate, I'm so glad that I got there, because if I was comfortable somewhere else,
we wouldn't have the girls we have today. We probably would have been easier to stop. Once we came here, the first consultation, the first meeting we had with Dr. Kumar was so reassuring and so comfortable and so natural. Now we have our family. So if you're contemplating and thinking about it, come to Western.